This program is dedicated to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces, past, present, and future. I'm Keith Warren. I'm a hunter.
Talk about dumping him on his butt.
A fisherman.
Wow! Shark fishing with a topwater.
A conservationist.
Don't be bashful. Come on out.
A family man.
Woo, baby.
And I'm proud to be a deer farmer. I'm taking a road trip, and we're going behind the scenes of today's most innovative deer farmers and wildlife management operations in North America. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
Today I'm smack dab in the middle of, well, the heartland of America. I'm in southern Illinois, in some of the most agricultural rich country we have. And I'm at a deer farm, the only deer farm I've ever been to here in the state of Illinois. This is Dominant Genetics. I'm going to introduce you to the owner, Rusty Karr, and you're going to find out on today's show why they call this place Dominant Genetics.
I'm Rusty Karr. I'm owner of Dominant Genetics. I'm located in Wapella, Illinois. Wapella is central Illinois, 2 hours north of St. Louis, 2 hours south of Chicago, 10 minutes south of Bloomington, Illinois. I got involved in deer farming because I love the outdoors, love the deer hunt, and love just looking at deer, and it's just a lifelong dream. On my farm, I'm trying to produce some of the framiest deer in the country, early maturing, just that beautiful look, that's jaw-dropping and heart-thumping type of bucks is what I'm energetic about producing.
I cannot believe my eyes. Look at this. A one-legged man pushing a wheelbarrow.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rusty Karr, and Rusty is truly an amazing guy. He's a one-legged guy, and he's been pushing around his wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow, I'll go feed the deer.
So what are we gonna do?
I'm gonna go feed the deer, then we can look at the yearlings and all the good bucks.
Let's go.
All right, sounds good.
This guy's unbelievable. A one-legged man pushing a wheelbarrow. That's unbelievable.
Here's a couple of the smaller yearlings.
Okay, so this pen right here is the yearlings?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Rusty. I don't know how you do it. I really and truly, I don't know how you do it. I mean, these are yearling deer right here. There's no way that deer right there is a yearling.
That's the small one. Hang on, I'll show you the big one. There's a decent yearling. There's a beamer yearling right there.
You gotta be kidding me. Rusty, that deer right there is great.
And
this whole pen is yearlings. Seriously, that whole pen is yearlings.
it's seriously all yearlings.
Folks, if you take a look at these deer right here are, I'm blown away. I really am blown away. I'm not, I mean, it's like I'm going, wait a minute. All summer long, I want you to know, Rusty sends me pictures. He teases me. He texts me pictures on my phone. And look at this, look at this, look at this. And I had no idea that we were gonna be able to see this. That right there, that's the best pen of yearlings, period, bar none, period, that I've seen so far this year. And I've been to some really big farms. That's no kidding. I mean, I guess that's the reason why you call yourself Dominant Genetics.
Dominant does.
Golly. I mean, the deal is, we will show you some does here in a little bit, and the does, although they don't have the headgear, they're equal genetics to these bucks right here. And that's the cool deal. So the genetics are the key. The genetics are the key. If you don't have good genetics, no matter what kind of feed you feed them, if you don't have the right genetics, you're not gonna grow the world's biggest deer. I mean, and Rusty's been working on genetics.
Look at the yearling down there. His beams almost touch the ground when he goes to eat grass.
That is
awesome.
unreal.
The beams as long as his nose, I think it's pretty impressive.
And the deal is, and they're pretty. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have got yearlings that are just I mean, they've got so much stuff on them they don't even look like a deer anymore. Your deer are pretty.
I mean, frames, extras, mass, and that's, last year, you know, I said typical is my dream buck. But I kind of reevaluated that dream to where extras, mass, flyers, drops. And this year, that's what they're throwing this year. Everything that I ever dreamed about or thought about, you know, that's what they're pushing this year.
Okay, so Do you sell deer? I mean, buck. I know you sell does and fawns and at all ages, but as far as the bucks go, do you sell them as yearlings?
I'm selling choice breeder yearling at a sale in a month.
Really? So, and right now we're, the middle of August, and so the deer are basically done growing for this year. You can look at some of the antlers, and they're still kind of bulby on the end, and you can tell they've got a little bit growing to do, but they're probably, what, 95% done?
Probably 95.
If you like the way our show looks on your television set, you're going to absolutely love it when you see it in full HD online. And you can watch it on my website 24/7 free of charge at keithwarren.net. Take a look and you'll see what I'm talking about.
The way you can tell if you're on the right track genetically is that every year your yearling bucks ought to be better. So your 1-year-olds ought to be better than 2-year-olds. Your 2-year-olds ought to be better than your 3-year-olds. And last year when I was here, Rusty had a buck here named Big Time. Big Time was an exceptional yearling buck. He took my breath away. He was beautiful. And still, Big Time is, when you consider all things, Big Time is a wonderful yearling. But I look at Rusty's yearlings from last year and I compare them to the yearlings this year. And last year's yearlings were great. This year's yearlings smoke last year's yearlings just simply because he's lined it up genetically right. And so as somebody interested in deer farming, if you're a deer farmer or you want to be a deer farmer, I always tell people quality, 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 more than quantity. If you want to grow quality deer, take advantage of somebody who has already done their research, done their homework, and got the genetic pedigree stacked up. So when you buy that deer and you write that check, you know you're getting what you pay for. And the proof is right there. All right, so I can look at the fawns and I can see there's basically 2 different age classes.
Correct.
You've got some that are with the bigger bodies, and you've got some that, and their spots are just about gone. And then you've got some that are smaller than that still the spots are very obvious. And so tell us why that is.
Difference is AI stuck, and they're gonna be born at 2 different dates. You know, we put the backup buck in them 2 weeks later, 20, 21 days later.
Okay.
So when that backup buck breeds them, you know, it's gonna be later born fawns, buck fawns.
So Rusty's got a facility, and inside that facility, they're gonna take these deer through the doe stand, and they cycle them, and they're gonna artificially inseminate those does. And he knows exactly how they line them up genetically because that's what he's programmed for, well in advance. So as they come in to the handler, they inseminate them with the semen that they want them to be inseminated with. Just in the event it doesn't take, then you put the cover buck in there 21 days later or whatever.
Exactly.
And that way the next time they come into heat, that cover buck will breed them, so that way they know the does will have babies. So that's the reason for the difference between the older fawns and the younger fawns. That's cool. So even the younger fawns are big. I mean, their bodies are beautiful, and the bucks. I mean, your yearling bucks, I can tell that. I mean, you're really focusing on body size on them.
Exactly. Great feed. We test the feed for pretty much a whole year. Every other month we'll test feed, make sure feed's the right minerals, and all the treats we give them are good. So
but you could have poor genetics and feed them the best feed in the world, and they're not going to get to be the biggest deer. But if you have the biggest deer in the world, you want to feed them with the best feed so they show what they've got. And so you're focusing really not just on antler growth, but on bodies too.
on bodies, correct, and a calm herd.
Well, you can tell y'all spend a lot of time with them because the deer are so calm. I mean, the mamas and the babies, they're just nice and calm. And the bucks are calm too. Okay, gotta ask you this. If somebody wanted to buy a deer from you, let me back up. If somebody wants to come out and look at your deer, what do they need to do?
Just call me.
Just
call me in 309-275-9567.
And he's got an awesome website too, so you can go on it and you can check it out. And it's very informational. You can get a lot of good information on it about Rusty, as well as the farm, as well as the deer. But you'll be happy to just show anybody around the deer too.
And I'll tell them all the genetics, what's popping, what bucks are mixing with other bucks or other does, and
We're out of Wapella, Illinois. It's a little town. There's really not much here but Rusty and his deer farm and his family. So if you're in the area, you ought to come on by. I mean, give them a call. Somebody's here every single day during the summer, taking care of the babies, and basically every single day during the rest of the year, except this guy right here. You're gonna find him deer hunting and bear hunting and offshore fishing.
Just went deep sea fishing 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, and I didn't get to make that trip, but.
You're invited.
Oh, I know, but the deal is, if y'all wanna come out and look at some deer, come. I mean, give Rusty a call and he'll make sure you're taken care of, and he's got some absolute beautiful deer, so show me some more. Let's go see what you got.
It's time for viewer feedback, brought to you by winadeerfarm.com, presented by High Roller Whitetails.
This one is from a viewer by the name of Jeff Nelson. He's from Oklahoma. Says, what's the deal with the Win a Deer Farm sweepstakes? And what are y'all gonna give away and how do I enter? Jeff and everybody else out there, listen up. We are giving away a deer farm. Yes, giving away a deer farm. To win, you need to go online to winadeerfarm.com. What you're going to see is you're going to see a list of lots of nice sponsors, and what we're going to be doing, we're going to be giving away everything it takes to make a deer farm. You've got to have your own land, but we'll provide everything else that it takes. Now if you want to enter, all you need to do is be on a computer and go to winadeerfarm.com, and you'll find out all the information, and one lucky person is going to win a deer farm.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Deer Guardian Misting Systems, DNA Solutions, and the North American Deer Registry, Four Canyons Ranch, Hoff Power Polaris, the Hunter Heritage Foundation, and Record Rack Deer Feeds.
All right, say you're a deer farmer. Say you can't afford a full deer, and you can afford a part of a deer. Rusty does deals like you've got with Complete Control. This
Right.
Complete Control with a guy out of Alabama, George.
Correct.
And George is a partner with it. But if you want to be partners on deer with Rusty, tell him about that. Tell him how you do that.
Right, just kind of share 50%, kind of share the profits, share everything about the deer.
So if somebody can't afford a full deer, I mean, and the better deer are expensive. You can't afford to buy the entire deer, or you don't have a farm to put the deer on, you can actually deal with Rusty and buy into a deer, enjoy the profits from that deer, and leave the deer here, right?
As long as it's a buck, I'll house it here, but we're running out of room for does. As you see, we have too many does, and we have new does every year. So we'll house the bucks, and if does go 50% on, we need to move them off the farm, as we can both share the profits and the deer.
Okay, all right. His name is Archer, and he's a 2-year-old buck right here at Rusty Karr's place, Dominant Genetics. Get on my Facebook page and let me know what he scores, and the person who gets closest is going to get a t-shirt from Rusty Karr and Dominant Genetics.
Archer was 15 3/4 last year. This year he's 26, 27 inside.
Really?
One of the best frame Angela sons ever. At two.
So the difference between 1 and 2 is unbelievable. So don't rule out a 1-year-old if he's got the right genetics. Don't rule him out. That's the reason why I asked him if he'll sell them at 1, because a lot of guys want to keep them until they're 3 to be able to actually tell what they're going to develop into. But that's a pretty awesome deal. So you may be able to come out here and make a smoking deal on a 1-year-old that maybe, I mean, genetically, I promise you he's got it lined up, but he maybe just doesn't have it on his head yet. And at 2, he comes on, then you may have the biggest buck in the world at 2, just simply because, hey, he's got the right genetics. The pens are in great shape too, for being so dry as it's been in the Midwest this year.
We got lucky, and we had 3 inches of rain a month ago. We had 1/2 inch of rain 2 days ago. And it's definitely helping the pens stay green.
I think that rain helps the antlers grow too.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that antlers get bigger when you have more moisture in the air. Wow.
They're looking pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah.
That's why I invite everybody to come see my farm.
If you take the time to come out here, I promise you it's gonna be worth your while. I mean, Rusty's been doing this long enough now, and he hadn't been doing it really that long. It's just that Rusty's got there's a screw loose upstairs or something that allows him to put the genetics together and they fit perfectly. It's got to be a screw loose because I think all my screws are real tight and I can't do it. Rusty, they really are looking good. They are looking good. And last year, you were kicking butt and taking names. They were great last year. Well, they're better this year.
Thank you very much.
When you start getting serious about breeding deer and breeding genetics, you've got to have a reference, and this is a Nadar pedigree. Tell them what this does for you.
So this here tells me so I can match up the females. It gives me DNA number, tells you who the grandparents are, the great-grandparents, and gives you factual genetics behind the doe. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts who the parents are, the grandparents are, so you know what an honest man's an honest man.
When you buy a deer from somebody, you want to be dealing with an honest man. When you buy a deer from Rusty Karr, every deer is going to have a pedigree, correct?
We DNA everything to make sure there's trust between me and the client.
There you go. You heard that right here. Very impressive. A deep, accurate pedigree is essential to predict good quality deer for the future. Tell them what this chart is.
This chart here is for my clients to look at all my genetics, to look at all my anchor does, to prove to them what is producing all these monster bucks. I don't give nothing to the bucks for antler growth. Everything's in the feed. This right here is a point-blank way to do it.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by WinADeerFarm.com, presented by High Roller Whitetails, Game Management Software, the North American Deer Farmers Association, New Dart, Shock Effect Probiotics, and Keith Warren's Texas Hidden Springs Ranch, the best value for Texas trophy deer hunting.
Now these are your 3-year-olds?
These are 3-year-olds.
This is absolutely nuts. I mean, these deer are just, words can't describe how they are. When you see them in person, I mean, the mass, the tine length, the beams, I mean, they've got it all.
Did you see that one over there with a 30-inch beam? Look at this buck, 30-inch beam's walking towards us.
Yeah.
Look how long that beam is.
I mean, folks, do you realize what a 30-inch beam is on a deer? I mean, you know, the deer, I mean, I've seen deer with 27, 28-inch beams, and that's nice. But 30 inch is just so far out there that it's crazy. Now, let me ask you this. If a guy wanted to come out here and he's got a piece of property and he doesn't have any deer on it, whatever, and I know that's the way you deal with a lot of people. You sell a whole herd of deer, won't you?
Yeah, I sell, you know, I actually give discounts on multiple deer. And
so you can take them like to Louisiana.
Correct.
I mean, states that have open borders, Louisiana, Oklahoma, whatever.
Right, I sell lots of deer to Louisiana, Oklahoma.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. You could take advantage of Rusty's hard work and his establishing the genetics. And literally just, I mean, you can back up and drop them off and there you go, you're in business. I'd do it, but I live in Texas and the borders are closed. So I have to do it kind of the old fashioned way. We just get semen and breed it and do it that way, and it's slow doing it that way, but at least we can get it accomplished. And Rusty, you've also got semen too from deer that
exactly.
you sell. And so if you live in a closed border state, I mean, tell them how they can go about finding out what you've got.
Go to my website, call me, I'll send pictures, I'll email you pictures, and I'll work with you. If you're a past client, I give discounts for past clients. Pretty much whatever you need, give me a call, and we'll discuss deer, semen prices, and send lots of pictures.
This is nuts. I mean, it's 3-year-olds. Every pen I've gone to, I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. But what's unbelievable, your 3-year-olds last year weren't as good as the 3-year-olds this year. And just like I said, every year they keep getting better and better and better. That's why they call you dominant genetics.
That's why we got dominant anchor does.
Look at that. I mean, you know, in many pens you go to, somebody will have a real knothead. You don't have any knotheads. I mean, even your knotheads are good.
That's what we pride ourselves in, genetics.
That's not very often. What will happen a lot of times is before people show deer, they'll go through there and get the knotheads out because they don't want people seeing them. You don't have any knotheads.
I'm not sure what I can say back to that.
Jeez. That amazes me. I mean, I'm looking at these deer, and obviously your cover bucks got the job done too. I mean, I look at them, I'm going, folks, this is when you know you're doing something right. As a deer farmer, when you artificially inseminate, you're going to impregnate your does, and then you're going to put a cover buck in afterwards. Well, typically the semen that you put in is better than the cover buck, And the reason why is because, hey, you look at the charts. Rusty's got tons of them. But just to give you an idea of how good his deer really are, even the cover bucks, I think they even surprised Rusty. Look how big they are.
Yeah, we sell bucks, does, fawns, great semen packages. Just get a hold of me if you're interested, or come by the farm.
All right, as we sit here and talk, okay, we're in the middle of a Illinois cornfield and at a deer farm. And in the background you can hear, I'm sure you can hear that. What that is, that's a tornado warning. We're stuck out here, it's like, I don't know. What do you think?
I think you guys could run faster than I can, and it ain't real fair.
Yeah, I think I can.
I don't know. Well, you're a little bit older, so I might be able to pass you up.
Yeah.
For more information on Dominant Genetics, call Rusty Karr at 309-275-9567 or visit dominantgenetics.com. Before you make your next Polaris purchase, you owe it to yourself to check out the #1 Polaris dealer in the country, Hoff Power Polaris. If you'd like to watch full episodes of our programs 24/7 online in full HD, log on to my website at keithwarren.net. There, you'll find the shows, but you'll also find a lot of outtakes and behind-the-scenes videos as well. That's keithwarren.net. Reproductive services for deer and wildlife stories are provided by Whitetail Genetics.